All right, we are back in the lab. This is episode 2, build. The whole goal with this episode is to kind of go from the last time we sat down, we were ideating, and you were really ideating about what you want to do with format, how you want to launch this apparel line, etc. I want to first dive into the numbers game about this a little bit first, before then going into some of the more specifics, because I think from the outside looking in, you talked about Moonshot marketing, and it could, from somebody outside looking in, they could look at this and be like, damn, that's going to cost 50 to 75 bands. Like that's a good amount of money. Is it worth the investment?
Totally.
With SaaS and with your guys' product, I mean, it makes complete sense if you bring in a few customers. So on top of all the other benefits outside of that, give me the ROI. Like, how is this ROI positive for you guys?
Yeah, so we think of it in a few ways. One, like direct line revenue. Can we drive big deals through this, whether that is filling up the pipeline because people see this and they book demos, or can we push some people over the edge because we sent them this FRMT package or basically get them into the product to just push them over the edge. So for us, thankfully, we have some really high ACVs, average contract value. And so for us to really pay this off, we need to hit maybe 2 or 3 kind of customer signing on top of all the pipeline we drive. So like we talked about in the other episode, I'm crazy, but I'm also rooted, I'm organized chaos, where we need to make sure that there's business impact on that. And so when we think of this, there's kind of 3 vectors of that business impact. There's that direct line, like how much money is actually getting driven because of FRMT, what's the impressions, and then the third thing is like, is there some celebratory kind of halo effect, like you say, where we want to make sure that we celebrate customers? So that's a retention play on the business impact. And then also investors, where people that gave us money early on, we want to make sure that they feel celebrated as well, because they were the ride or dies to get there. So those are kind of the 3 vectors of, quote unquote, whether direct line or a dotted line impact of actually driving revenue from people signing, people booking demos to then sign. So that's what in SaaS we call pipeline. And then the third thing is kind of celebratory, where it's like we want to celebrate our customers for retention, and then investors, whether we want to raise another round or just, I don't know, put some good karma out in the world.
The thing that I like about this as well is typically when we talk about SaaS and we talk about a SaaS company's marketing, they're always like so many steps behind. They're not steps behind, they're years behind, like DTC brands. And I think what you guys are doing is a one-of-one experience and a one-of-one approach to marketing, where you can not even just thinking about outside the box, like you're playing in a completely different lane.
Yeah, I mean, for me, again, Moonshot marketing is not a necessity in the marketing ecosystem. We talked about community content education, and to your point, outbounding, making sure your life cycle marketing is on point. And so without, for lack of a better analogy, without the meat and potatoes and the vegetables, you can't have your dessert. So Moonshot marketing is more of like this dessert. And again, you need to make sure it fits in kind of the percentages of your budget, where this is not an existential bet. It's not like, okay, if this doesn't hit, the company's going to go bust. But because we've had so much success, this is kind of that momentum boost. So I think of it almost like when you're starting an early stage SaaS company, it's like you're launching a rocket from Earth, right? Shout out Elon. Some of those Twitter videos are crazy. And so there's something called the gravity well, right? And once you get out of that gravity well, you need these big old rocket boosters to fight against that gravity. But once you're out of that gravity well, then it's all about you're in outer space. So there's not really the drag that you have from the gravity of Earth. And so now it's all about how can we just explode these little momentum bombs, almost those little boosters, just to keep accelerating growth. And that's kind of how I think of Moonshot marketing, where we've kind of hit that exit of the gravity well. And now how can we keep going and moving forward?
So you had this idea for Moonshot marketing. You kind of have it already broken down into 3 different vectors. What is the thesis that you're going to Rashid with to say like, hey, here's like, I think the big takeaway from this is like the big, if this works, it's going to work.
Yeah. I think the big thesis I can take to him is like, hey, give me a bunch of money. Let me build this incredible SaaS couture line, and we'll force people, I guess not force, but we will incentivize people to go through the product. And then as we seed influencers, prospects, customers, and investors, they can actually see the product. And so to do that, because we are really focused on having the best mobile experiences, the leader in commerce experiences on mobile, we can do this without a website. Basically, it would be lander, SMS, Vermont experience.
There's a few things I love about that. The first one being one, it shows like your guys' value proposition. It puts it out there by like launching this, by showing people the product and streamlining it. I think it also shows people how meaningful it is to create funnels on the back end of specific channels like SMS.
So well put.
Like SMS needs its own funnel versus even coming from an Instagram story or coming from an Instagram feed versus like an email and all of that. And, and I think it's this idea of keeping the scent trail the same, where like SMS needing to have a specific experience, not one dedicated landing page that then everything's getting funneled to.
Exactly right.
Let's get into specifics. So when do you want to get this out? When is this out the door? When is this launching? What are we thinking?
Man, that's probably a better Oren question, but ideally, sooner than later. I think because for us, we really need to get it into no later than kind of late October, early November is ideal, because in the B2B SaaS world, November and December is really dead months, and you're just not going to get a lot of traction then. And so I think before the drop dead date would probably have to be a couple weeks before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, because if not, then you start to get drowned out by everything else that's going on.
Okay, so is it timeline crunch? Thinking October, November.
Yeah.
When we thinking products, what are we thinking? Hoodies, crew necks, heavy tees, like getting into winter, like
definitely heavy tee for sure.
What brands are you looking at being like, damn, they got good heavy tees? I'm looking at like them for inspo. What are you thinking?
I'm a big Warren Lotus guy.
Okay.
Warren Lotus has some really clean,
nice
heavy tees, really heavy tees. So I think that would be a lot of inspo. Some of the Kith collabs do really well with the heavy tee. So that would be closer to almost like a couture streetwear for me.
I like that.
I think the hoodie has to be something different. Everybody does hoodies, and I really think maybe we could differentiate it with not only design, but maybe Oren can find us like a weird fabric or something that could really differentiate the hoodie.
That's what he does.
I love the contradictions, like a kale and cigarettes.
Yeah.
And so having this insanely high-end brand have a hoodie just feels wrong. But when you do
wrong and right, baby.
That's what I'm saying.
Wrong and right.
But when you do it so well, it becomes undeniable. That undeniable then flips the wrong into innovative, where it's like, oh my gosh, these luxury brands would never make a hoodie. Like, okay, hold on, Alex, hold my beer. We're gonna make a fucking SaaS couture hoodie. I love that vibe of cutting against the grain, but being undeniable. Where it's just like you can become like that Tom Brady, where I did a ton of traveling in the last couple of years in London and Paris. Whether you love or hate those cities, they're the Tom Brady of cities. They're just undeniable.
Yeah. We're thinking other products. Are we thinking accessories? I would love so I've been rocking bandanas left and right.
Yes.
Bandana, scarves, whatever, like they could be used for the same thing.
I'm a huge fan of Hermes, and the Hermes scarf is just pretty much as iconic as they get.
Yeah.
They actually...
Okay, so you're thinking scarf. I'll use it as a bandana.
Well, because you got to think of the ladies out there, right? Like, I mean, I would probably rock a scarf, maybe like the ascot style, where you do it, and then... But it's also that nice unisex thing where it's like... Because I think a bag necessarily needs to be in there, because that can be the big kind of marquee piece. And a scarf is not only a great accessory for a bag, but you can also wear it. You can do this. And then the other thing is, people that are getting this influencer box might not wear the scarf, but they might have a partner that does. Yeah. And so it kind of spreads the wealth.
I think the bag's a good idea too, because looking at, I pay attention a lot to like NBA and NFL fits.
Yes.
And what you'll notice is like all of them have a backpack, right? Or a lot of them will have a small backpack, but they're all carrying that like a beautiful duffel bag or like, specific bag. It's another element it's now becoming part of the fit.
100%.
The bag part is.
If you can't afford the PJ, you get the bag that looks like you have a PJ. Yeah. So it kind of aligns.
You have a friend that has a PJ.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly right. Like I don't have the PJ, but I have
the
bag that they'll allow me to take on the PJ, and it looks in that kind of Instagram. So I think for me, that's a really strong lineup where we have the really heavyweight tee. We have a really unique hoodie that kind of breaks all the rules. We have an exquisite, like you said, duffel banker bag style thing. And then we have kind of this little iconic scarf with like kind of like a nod to like the Hermes. And then
I need headwear.
We got to go with the lid,
like
right?
The fact that we're both rocking.
Yeah, we got to go with the lid. So I think the challenge again there is like we need to make sure that it is unique enough that it doesn't feel standard. Can we make this in a material that hasn't been done before or is very unique or, again, high end, where it's like, camel skin or something weird and wacky, where it's like, man, that hat is just wild. And so I think that the awe factor paired with the allure and the affluence of a higher end or hard to get fabric, I think is going to be the path forward.
And that'd be the collection?
I think so. I think the 5 is about right. I think if you get outside of 5, it starts to get a little crazy. I think when you launch a collection like and again, I'm a huge Ronnie fan over at Kith, and I think they do the best. All the collections have like a through line, and for me, this would really land where everything goes together, and you could actually wear everything at once if you wanted, because you could have the t-shirt and then the hoodie can go on top of the t-shirt,
or you could even put it around the waist.
Exactly.
Like there's
you can have the scarf on the bag, or wear the scarf, and then you have a bag. And so this whole it all seems familial. I really want to do like a limited run where it's like again, because you're wearing a Kith shirt, and I'm a big Kith fan, but they just dropped their Ramoa collab and they sold out already. And so I think that's what I want, where it's like, this is something that is sought after. Like, I want to see this on StockX the next day. That's how exclusive I want it to feel. When you're buying a luxury item, it's a signal purchase. Yeah. There's a certain point of like, economists call it utility. There's a certain point of value. It's like, dude, I can get the same amount of value from a $5,000 Coach bag that I can get from a $50,000 Birkin bag. Yeah. Why do I want the Birkin bag? Because it's a status symbol. It's just signaling to society that I've made it. I've done this. And if that scarcity goes away, so
one step away from the PJ.
Exactly. And I don't want to be, it sounds horrible and elitist, but I don't want to be in the same conversation as that person over there
with the $5,000 Coach bag.
Luxury is just the anti-marketing, man. Like,
for sure.
Like, if you go on luxury sites, like, if you aren't building a luxury brand, you should never look at luxury as a guide for marketing, because they're just playing a different game than you. Where every luxury experience is just it's horrible. It's horrible to get through online. That's why you can't even buy a Birkin online. You can't buy a Goyard wallet online. You have to go into the store and do it. And because I think we do a limited run, we should do like a custom handwritten card, because that doesn't work at scale, where like Gucci can't do that, and Gucci doesn't know who they're sending it to, etc. But having like a handwritten card, I think, is a really good way to humanize the luxury, where that is, to me, the melding of the best of humanity, where you have affluence and empathy. And I think that's really where I want to land.
What can you take that's ordinary, something like a letter, something like a handwritten note, and turn it into like the 10 out of 10 experience? So even thinking there, like the same way you're thinking about the hats and the hoodies with different material, think about it through the same lens for the letter.
I think
in the card.
100% materials. And then the other thing I'm super into, was it a year or two ago? I got really into like family heritage and stuff like that. And we didn't have a family crest. And so a lot of like my Scottish friends and English friends and stuff, they have a family crest. So I made a family crest and a stamp. And so having like an FRMT seal or a FRMT seal on the envelope, like a wax seal, there's just that, because it's also that throwback. Like it's really hard to find young fashion houses, because most luxury is heritage. Like Louis Vuitton, he made cases for the king, basically, for the horses, Hermes saddles, for like, and so all these really iconic fashion houses are usually really, really old.
We got a vision, have a plan on how we can market this. The next layer is talking to Oren. Getting Oren on the phone and being like, yo, I don't want to do regular hoodies. I don't want to do regular tees. I want to do beautiful bags, velvet cards, wherever your brain's going with this.
Exactly right.
And getting him to basically, I don't know, is he going to have to go to China? Is he going to have to go, where are we going to have to take this man?
We got to fly him wherever the goods are. We got to get it done.
And he's about to go on the National Treasure voyage right now. He's got to find this. He's got to find the material. So
go find the Constitution.
Let's ring him in. All right, like I told you, perfect person for this entire thing, Oren. Sometimes I'll be like, yo, Oren, text him at 7 a.m. Yo, question about this T-shirt. Immediate text. 30 seconds. 100%. Hey, these links. So perfect person for you to basically take your vision and be able to run with it. Go, whether it needs to find the right manufacturers, the right fabrics, whatever it is, perfect person for you. So what I think would be beneficial, you give him the vision, and Oren's going to be able to take that, help turn it into reality. Amazing.
So I'm going to give you the ingredients, and you make the Michelin star meal. OJ, we're thinking a 5-piece collection, 2 sized pieces so we don't get into a bunch of dead inventory. Maybe like heavyweight t-shirt, kind of like, Warren Lotus-esque, or really, really heavyweight t-shirt. And we were going back and forth on crew neck and hoodie. I think I want to go hoodie. And why I say this, what we talked about kind of in the previous wrapping was, I love that like kale and cigarettes kind of vibe of like just contradictions. And so having a really like SaaS couture hoodie. And so I think there could be something you could do there, differentiating it with like maybe some sort of really weird fabric or something like that, where it becomes undeniable. And what Alex and I were talking about was, when you make something like that, it becomes like from a bug to a feature, where it's like, this is this weird thing, but it's done so well that it kind of crosses the chasm into just awesomeness. So I think those are the 2 sized items. Five collection package. What were the other things we were talking about? Maybe Hermes style scarf.
Definitely a bag. A bag, like that's just becoming part of the look. Like, need a bag.
Duffel, banker bag style. Doing it again, really
like beautiful bag that literally just has your gym clothes in it. You know what I mean? Like, just something that
or
says,
your bricks of money.
Whatever. I'm gonna get a PJ one day.
Exactly. That was the vibe we were talking about. The Instagram bag you have in your hand when you're walking onto the PJ. Kind of that vibe, I think, could be really cool. That could be the centerpiece of the collection. And then
you said a scarf.
Have to go the Hermes nod, right? I mean, the Hermes scarf is pretty much as iconic as you can get in terms of high-end fashion house. So definitely the scarf. And then, again, the hat, kind of more of like a cap, where I think going into some sort of fabric differentiation. So it is this, really run-of-the-mill piece of the collection, but it's just such an exquisite piece, whether it's the design or the material, that really accentuates the high-end affluence of the collection. So recapping, 5-item collection, the bag would be the centerpiece, the 2 apparel pieces that would be sized would be a really nice, incredible heavyweight tee, some really quirky, incredible hoodie, and then a scarf and a cap.
I know you're not a hat guy, but
we still make the hats.
But clearly,
This is perfect. I'm going to China here shortly.
See?
Perfect.
I knew he'd be the man.
And like in the whole idea,
The
that
Panda
I'm
Express.
obsessed with that idea of like texture on clothing, and like on a lot of the things I make, and like washes and stuff. So I think we can go just dive deep and like hit that and do. We can pick leather for the bags. We can pick washes for the hoodie, and like maybe try to get something interesting. We can pick fabrics for the hat, but like let's get down into it. That structure is perfect. I love the 2-2-1 structure. I actually recommend it a lot, where it's like one like accessory or like easier thing, like the scarf, 2 like sized or more affordable things, and 2 like more viral items. I think if we do the hoodie right, we can make it something kind of viral.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, is this AI? Is
Yeah.
this AI? These are all the answers. Okay. Then the last question I need to ask you, custom boxes and unboxing is going to be super important, because one of the things that I love about luxury, and Alex and I were just talking about this, is luxury is the anti-marketing marketing. It's almost impossible to buy like actual high-end fashion online. But if you do find it, it is the best unboxing experience. And so do you think we can wrap something where it's, definitely a custom box, but can we go as far as possibly like getting custom bags or something that the merch, or I don't want to even call it merch, the SaaS couture line would come in, or something like that?
Yeah. Look, as long as we have time, we can do anything. We can make it as nice as we want. Brand it all up, make it unique. I would love that. I think, especially something like a bag, where you have like a really nice, even something reusable. Like I like it when the bag comes in a bag you can also use.
Yes.
We can definitely come up with ideas like that.
Oh,
So thinking like date, October, November, what is it now? May, June?
yeah, we have to hit it before, probably like the dead drop date would be 2 weeks-ish before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, because then we just get washed out with all the other things. So late October, early November would be ideal. And, if you need me to sauce you a little money, if we need to do like air freight or something versus the boats, we can make some things work here.
Anything that we nail on the first sample, we should be able to get in that time. Let's look at like 30 days development, get a sample in, week or so, feedback or review, 30 days production, 30 days ocean ship, a week to receive. We're in good shape.
And then you can find us some pretty crazy fabrics for the hat and the hoodie.
We'll be there in person. I'll be like the biggest fabric market in the world, and there's all these like little stores surrounding it, so we can go as hard as we want.
When's this happening?
It's the benefit.
When's this happening?
That is going to be in probably July. So we would
Perfect.
do patterns, or we do tech packs, and then we pick fabric.
Perfect.
This is perfect.
Yeah, this is
lines up
perfect timeline.
perfectly. Oh my God. Well, the money's in the mail, baby. Let's do it. I don't have the names yet, but I think I have the collection. And again, you guys might kick me off, or if Warren cuts the call off, I know he doesn't like it, but I think we go SaaS, style as a service. Hate it? It's good. It's good.
It's you.
It's me.
So like I'm with it. Like
SaaS couture, style as a service.
like
I mean,
I'm with it.
I feel like no matter what, the bar of B2B.
it's so
It's so low. It's so low. So it's like
style as a service.
I don't hate it.
5-item collection, two apparel items, 3 non-sized items, and the other thing is the 3 other items. I mean, really, honestly, all 5 items are kind of unisex as well, right? Like we don't. So I think it lands.
Look at, like, some of the things like tees or stuff will be like kind of relatively unisex. I don't think we wear it day to day. But
Yep.
everything else you mentioned, will be super unisex.
I like it.
No notes.
No notes.
Go forth, cross the oceans, go scour the Chinese markets for us.
I will call Clayton. We will do some like mood boards and like a brief, and we will send some stuff to get started.
I love this. God, you called the right dude in, didn't you?
Perfect person.
OJ, thank you so much for the time, dude. I can't wait to see the designs. Safe travels, and all the faith is in you. We are putting this on your back, and I feel like we're in good hands.
We're in good hands.
You're in good hands. I have nothing if not irrationally confident. So let's hit it.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Love it. Awesome.
Dope, homie. Appreciate you.
Thanks, OJ. Bye.